You guys, I'm laughing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad you're back for your weekly Roar podcast. Super excited you chose to be with Braden and I this morning. My name again is Dustin. We're on here to talk about a lot of things today. We're laughing as we start because it's the funniest thing. If you work in technology long, it becomes both your friend and your enemy. It's kind of like it's your frenemy. And so we're fighting with our frenemy this morning and getting things going. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, my friends. We're going to be talking about a lot of details on what we've been experiencing, how we're growing, some of the philosophy about the steps we're taking, as well as some updates on what's going on in the ROAR ecosystem. So with no further talk and discussion, I'm going to give it over to Brandon, my amazing co-pilot for the day, and let him get us kicked off and some announcements you can expect as we close this year and start next year.
Yeah, thank you, Dustin. Um, so the first thing I guess maybe you want to talk about is the updated roadmap 3.0.
Yes. So you guys will see some updates happening to the website. We've been long developing updates to the website. These are not going to be the final updates. We're working on cleaning things up, getting things organized because we've had a lot of life we've lived in the last 5 years of this work, and even more so in the last 2 years as we've been working with so many folks and developing so many platforms released, and we've got so much more to come. We've been alluding to for weeks and weeks and weeks that we haven't gotten to announce. And so you can expect a lot of those things to show up very soon on our front page, as well as some redesign happening in our site as we get our brand really tightened up, messaging cleared up, and we start letting you know what the roadmap looks like for this 3.0 season. So we've got a lot of information backlogged. We wish we could have gotten it all out through the end of Q4, but we've had on top of those bits of information we need to release and software we want to release, so much more has happened on top of it that it's kind of an amalgamation of incredible, exciting growth. And I got to tell you, a lot of folks will take a season like this when the market's down or sideways, and they'll just simply take time off or they'll slow down. And instead of doing that, we've used this time that we've been given in a sideways market to develop better, grow more, strategize, create the foundations for what we need to do, and make this so that we can launch into the next season as a crypto season comes and adoption starts really happening, and we can engage quickly and we can scale quickly. So, with that said, there's going to be a lot of announcements that we have to make in a very short period of time. Hang with us. And while we're doing it, we're going to be reframing our roadmap and updating our web information so that you can see it all there. One last thing I'll say on that is you've heard that we've been getting things in order, a lot more order in the house as we start leaning into more software released. Again, our primary place where if you need any kind of help or support is going to be in our Discord, and you can get into our ticketing system there. We've got awesome admins and moderators that will take care of you and make sure you get to our dev team. And again, once you hit a ticket in that Discord, you can know that it's in our pipeline and we're on it, we're looking at it. So bug reporting, system issues, whatever you're facing, get in the right place to communicate. That's one of the first foundational things we've done over the last weeks. And now we have so much more coming we're getting ready to share with you. We're excited.
Yeah, thank you,
Um,
Dustin. Go ahead.
what's the next one?
Oh, I was just going to set you up there. So new and improved marketing timeline and events.
Yes, a lot of folks have been hearing about. We've started to make events and head out and do some IRL in real life activities, and that's only going to increase. And so you'll hear more about them ahead of time as we partner with events and as we expand our reach. We're going to be doing more things in real life, and so I want to invite you to join us when we're in those in real life events, as well as some of our oncoming in the future influencers that are in our network of friends. You're going to start seeing those folks showing up as ROAR team as well. So super cool stuff we're starting to build into. We have a new and improved marketing timeline. We brought all of our marketing team in house.
Right.
That took a minute, takes a lot of reworking, and we've been working on our own platforms and our own designs because we haven't seen the results off of what we want to see with any of our marketing partners in the past. And so we're committed to doing things better. It's always about process improvement with us. And so as we bring it in house and we really get that whole messaging, branding, communications cleaned up, you're going to see a new timeline and things being dropped very specifically. You guys, we've already got a plan for the entire of 2026 and 2027. That's not just roadmap. That's even things we have to reveal and discuss and talk about. And so it's been very hard to slow down and be quiet a minute to get everything in order in the foundations, but we have. And so we're excited about what's next.
It is exciting, Dustin. I look forward to bringing those announcements forward for everybody. Um, Also, we've been doing some team building.
Yes. So again, we have a habit of we do this over and over. We want to always underpromise and overdeliver. And so right now we have a number of things, a number of projects going on that we have not made it to market in. And we are showing you all the way across everything we do that we always underpromise and overdeliver. And our not sharing our team members yet and not showing everything is on purpose. It's a part of us under promising and getting ready to over deliver. We've got team members we need to talk about. We've got team members coming on that we want to share their names and their information. You're seeing little winks here and there, like our website. So more will be coming, and we want you guys to keep your eyes open heading into Q1 and 2 as we start sharing about our team. We're excited about them. And every team member that we bring on is an opportunity to grow our reach and actually expand who we are as R0AR in this R0AR cosm. So we know they're going to expand our reach in marketing, expand our reach in partnerships, and even building solutions between chains and more. Super excited about that. It's coming. Get ready.
Thank you, Dustin. Yeah, and actually, I'll just talk a little bit about this next one. Merch, right? You can see I've got my hat, got my t-shirt, right? If you order now, you might just get it before Christmas. So if you're looking for some of those last minute gift ideas, I just got my order in and it did come pretty quick. They took good care of us. So hop on there at roarsociety.com. That's roar with a zero. And roarsociety.com will get you to our merch. And there's some good selections there.
Yay. Now we get to pivot.
I know.
So guys, I'm telling you, like I've been wanting to talk about all of this stuff for weeks as we've experienced it. And right now I'm excited. Like we're talking about life after Google, George Gilder's book, but more than that, we're talking about his specific laws he indicates
Mhm.
that have to shift and change as opposed to the oncoming I guess cryptocosm. And the cryptocosm is exciting, and we use that term very openly, meaning Web3 in general, but there's more to it. And so we're going to take some time over the next weeks to share with everyone out there these laws that are starting to make a lot of sense in our current era. I mean, this book was written years ago, and George Gilder is the most quoted economist from Reagan's time. I mean, Reagan quoted him more than anyone else. So Gilder really has this kind of prophetic edge where he sees down the road. And this book was, I think, written in 2012. And here we are right now, and it's starting to really make sense. So why don't you lead off, Brandon, and talk to us a little bit about some of the stuff we've mentioned before so that we
Sure.
can launch into this concept.
So the collapse of centralization, right? Life after Google is happening now, and we see that because there have been failures with like Microsoft Azure and AWS, and even Grok with the AI in X. And these things all have consequences because they're centralized. So you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about centralization, folks are like, well, Google's decentralized. They've got servers all over the planet. Or Microsoft's decentralized, or Amazon's decentralized. And centralization is not just best communicated through the idea of servers across the planet. It's the ability for those servers to self-replicate, self-heal, to offload services or whatnot. And let's be honest, We've talked about this for weeks and it's still ongoing. We've seen outages in Azure, AWS, Amazon, Google Cloud Services. They've affected everything from Starbucks to banking to PayPal, gateway services. Even Web3 services are failing. So we can't say they're truly decentralized because they can go offline. Someone's truly decentralized is like a starfish versus a spider. Again, the spider, you pluck off the legs and it's bird bait. So if you think about it, that one name, that one entity centralizes it. So Google itself is being centralized by its name. It's one point of attack. And if it can be taken down, then it's not decentralized. A truly decentralized solution never goes down. It's like a starfish. So not a spider where you can take off the legs and that central entity is now bird bait. We're talking about where something cuts off the legs, cut off every leg of a starfish and it'll grow those legs back. Cut enough leg off and it'll grow a whole nother starfish back. We need self-healing, decentralized networks that are not supported by just one main player. Now they may fall over some centralized services and more, but it's got to be the more. It cannot be one name gets to play. The threat of nations testing the limits or breaching these services is not the future any longer. It's already happened in our past. Systems are now suspect. They're suspect now. So centralized empires, they're reaching their limits. And guess what? They're not going to be able to fix it without us. They want to be the big dogs because they want to do the land grab in the whole internet world. And that is the very reason why they're the most suspect, they're the most weak, and they're the biggest opportunity for folks to take down because of that pushing out the very decentralized players that can support them. And that's what we find in Web3.
Thank you, Dustin. Absolutely. And so Gilder's answer then was the cryptocosm. And this is a world where trust kind of moves to the edges and not that center.
1,000,000%. Again, single points of failure are solved by more than just co-located servers. It's got to be independent players. So the chokeholds in the systems right now are big tech and legacy banking, to be honest. Somewhat as well government. Ownership, identity, and personal private data controlled by a single platform is suspect. So if you've got a multi-login, then it's controlled by Facebook and Facebook goes down. You're done. Or Google, you're done. You've also got environmental and economic cost of these massive data centers they're building. Again, centralization is not the answer. We're already finding that it can harm our entire ecosystem. It's much wiser to realize that if we mesh and we decentralize and we offload even computing power to more places in hive technologies or mesh technologies, that there's a better opportunity to serve up resources, services, data storage, speed, and everything else that's safer, believe it or not, and at the same time, less harmful to the environment. You don't need big data centers with the solutions we're talking about. So Gilder's answer is he has this heart where this this trust that everything has is moving away from the center of a big name or brand to the edges. He says we should have private keys over passwords, distributed networks and meshes over cloud empires. And then even the cloud empires, it's in their best interest to share the load. Ownership should be by users, not corporations. And value exchange should happen instead of free surveillance models. I won't go deeply into that, but I'll say this. You know me in security. You know me in surveillance. I'm all about privacy, ownership being in the hands of the individual, democratizing everything. And there's a lot of players that don't like what I'm saying right now, and we're hearing from them right now. It's happening, but it's because we're striking a nerve. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're taking free stuff, you're trading something for it. So when Google and all these big players say, we're giving you this, and on top of it, all this free stuff, free, 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 you're trading for something. You're trading for security and privacy at the very basis. There's more, but that's got to end. And Gilder really brings that up. So what's next?
Yeah, Dustin, I've heard it said that if the services are free, then you're not the customer,
But
right? You're the product. Uh,
boom.
so then that leads us to where ROAR fits in, right? And what we're building is this working implementation of really Gilder's cryptocosm.
Sorry about that, guys. Clear my throat. Yeah, I mean, Gilder's cryptocosm is focused on, and this is really you can find it in the book Life After Google. So if you haven't gotten that book, this is like a primer of it, but it's not a deep dive. Gilder is way beyond me on this stuff, but we're going to touch on it and make it as easy as possible to understand. He's saying that we should literally lead off with private key first. So instead of one central entity being able to hold your identity with a password that can be hacked and stolen, that the private key leads off. And inbuilt is your encryption. Inbuilt is end-to-end encryption, security and transit, communications. Inbuilt is everything you need. And that key is in your hands. It's in your control, not the centralized player. And that's a big deal. He believes in distributed compute. So that means, again, not just one big data center. I'm seeing these data centers eat up services that are massive in areas and depleting natural resources, depleting even energy resources from local communities in a way that's not acceptable. Folks, we you can't be a save the environment guy and at this save the world, save the environment like Gates and even a certain level Musk and others. You can't be that guy or even Amazon. We're going to save rainforests attached to our identity and our brain. You can't be that guy and then destroy the environment massively and destroy water and resources and land that could be used for farming or whatever for these solutions, especially when there's ways to offload to get better compute power, better results out of mesh or even different kinds of technologies for networks and servers and systems. We've already seen that we've almost reached the pinnacle of Moore's law with computing. You can't build bigger and more and get the return you need from computing. We got to think differently about computing. And I've given some options as far as, hive computing and mesh computing. Others are out there doing the same. We're building into that future, and that's what he talks about a lot. Also, we need to talk about economic self sovereignty. And this is a Gilderism. I love it, where each individual is democratically in control of their future. Their freedom to control their finances is not in question. You don't have to battle with the bank on how you use your money. And again, this is the way fiat currency has been for years. But in essence, we've watched the major central players devalue fiat to an extent that people want to go into a digital fiat future. And that's not the same. Fiat currency, you can walk away and spend however you want or bury it in your backyard and use it when you want to. And it's largely untraceable. However, when you go into a digital world, that stuff can be programmed, turned off, connected to a digital ID. It can be locked down like George Orwell's 1984, and you're toast, my friends, and your economic outlook is over. Remember that. We're calling it out. You need economic self sovereignty even in the digital world. And that's where folks like us, we program out the controls so we can't stop it or control it. And that's best for what would replace anything that might replace a fiat currency or solution. And then human agency in our AIs and everything. Humans are always the greatest oracle. So in my development, my belief, I'm out there and I know I'm not the biggest name out there in AI. Others are, and they're loud and proud about the idea that AI is going to replace them. And I feel so sorry for them if they honestly believe AI is going to replace them because we're talking about guys that are building huge ecosystems to run an AI that only uses the literal computing power of 1/8 of your brain. So humans are born every day without spending a badonkload of money. And yet you're telling me we spent all this money and we finally got like an eighth of the way there? Great job. The lords and the masters of our new world. No, We're having to break AI's rules all the time to be able to train it. Anyone that says it's different is a liar. You cannot train AI into anything new that's creative unless you break its own rules. It can't break its rules once they're written in. You don't want it to. You always necessarily need a human oracle that has agency out beyond that. And I'm out here calling it for what it is. I develop in this space. I'm actually one of the ones that came up with the idea to have AI mirror itself back to itself and to learn from itself, as well as using old concepts of learning for the AI to actually off put to other AI to actually test and see if it was biased automatically. And then new ways of using vector stores and others that are involved with old technologies that were kind of outdated and put aside so that AI could become more personable, like master prompts and whatnot. I have built in that space. Some stuff you're seeing, that's what I build in. So I'm not coming from a place where I don't know. I just don't brag on what I do know. And I'm not bragging now. I'm just telling you since it's already out there and we're building something better and different outside that. Let me tell you something. It is truth that humans must and necessarily need to be the oracle to AI forever.
Wow, Dustin, drop the mic. That's great. No, it is true. AI is an incredible, powerful tool, but it can never create, and that's why humans must be that oracle. It's an incredible point that you've made. So thank you for that. Um, I guess moving forward, we want to talk a little bit about the Google law versus Gilder's law. The first Google law says focus on users, communication first, give people free stuff, right? And then Gilder would respond to that and say no, security first. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So let's rewind back in Google's history. Incredible company. It's done incredibly well, very powerful. As a matter of fact, as far as the things they have done, they've been literally transformational for almost all of us, if not all of us on the planet, whether it's search or even their early stages of Gmail, their emailing capabilities, Google Apps, uh, the Google Labs system, where a lot of us developers cut our teeth on things and develop in spaces that led to the AI that you have now, um, Google Docs, Google's Drive and storage solution. So many of those things have been just game changers for our world. Yet at the same time, you may not have noticed, but it's largely all free. So the focus has been for Google, and they admit it, this is their law. This is one of the things they put forward is their DNA, their culture. So we're not telling you something that we're saying about them or Gilder made up about them. These are things they own as their DNA in Google, that they want to focus on users and you communicate first and give people free stuff. And so you get on as many users as possible and you can get whatever you want after that. At what cost? Well, Google then started buying up advertising, and we know that they pull private data and information and have in the past on us to advertise to us or give extra benefit to their advertisers to use their platforms. Now, some of those ways have been made illegal, but there's workarounds and there's more. We know that they've been listening in and, like others like them, Amazon's Echo services and Microsoft's Cortana and others, they listen in, they're paying attention. Siri listens to us. On Apple, these guys are starting to get as many people in as possible, give them as much advantage to things that are easy, free, and consumer friendly, and make it so that people aren't paying attention to the risk of their future, their privacy future, their autonomy, their self-sufficiency, their private data. We believe that you should have control of everything to do with your privacy.
Mhm.
That should be first, and that starts with security first. You can't go focus on users and give them everything so we can take advantage of everything we want with open-ended agreements, and then we can have open source software and even blame the problems in the software at nothing because, well, it's open source. What do you expect? We really don't support it at that level. You see the problem? They're taking a huge risk with your private data and they're leaving you open to open source support. That's not okay. Inside of the coming cryptocosm, Gilder's saying that we need to think security first, and that's the way we do. Like, even when you're interacting with everything, we want as many users as possible as well. I want to bring on the next 1 billion users to crypto and Web3, but the best way to do that is start with security so that no one has to be afraid of it. I mean, crypto and Web3 has almost become bad words in some people's mindsets. We're working with people setting up their first wallet or coming to our ecosystem, and they're freaking out at the idea of the word. Like, I have anxiety when I think about crypto. It's like, well, why? Because it's been built into the vernacular, there's such a negative connotation. But that's the thing. When you're committed to privacy first and security first, and you're supporting everything in a way that's protecting everyone, yeah, there's places where it's the wild, wild west as far as someone getting some of your Ethereum or a couple USDC or USDT or interacting with the wrong person out there. But at the same time, you're not running the risk of what you've given away in your private data and your activity and your person through the applications like you are with any centralized service. And you are, believe me. If you're doing search, they are watching you. If you're, I don't care if it's a private connection, they're watching you. I don't care if you're using a VPN on your local internet service provider, your Comcast or Verizon, your ISP, they're watching you. I don't care if you have private relay on Apple, the ISP is watching you. I'm just telling you, they have workarounds. Anything you do on the internet is not private. But what we're doing is building privacy in up front as the first most important thing for security, and then encryption all the way across everything end to end. What does that mean? Things are only decrypted to the entity you want them decrypted with from the encryption key you're using, your wallet address, or whatever's inside of our functional system. Very much blockchain thinking. And so it's always transmitted with only those two ends to encrypt and no central player in the middle holding your password or your keys or anything else. We can't hack it. They can't hack it. So ROAR application, just so you know, we've taken the cryptocosm to its extent, and security is architectural. It's built in. So our keys are stored on your device or by your user alone. We're building into our chain. This is actually what's making us work so hard on our nodes to get them right, is we're building in zero knowledge encryption to create even more obfuscation layers the right way, legitimately, for institutional players to be involved. Big banks, legacy banking, they're going to want that. They already do. We know. We're building in the ability for a wallet to be identity. So, you actually can set up and burn a wallet here, there, and anywhere, and it's not even connected to your device necessarily, and it's not stored in the blockchain. It's your encryption key, and you can put it anywhere, take it anywhere, and it's your identity. And that's awesome. It's like having a social security number that can rotate, but better. And it becomes a function, a partial function of the encryption. And then we're utilizing this to give user controlled access to AI that's locally functioning. We're talking about encapsulated AI that lives only on your device
Mhm.
with no backend API access, no stuff going in and out. Let me tell you something. If you're using AI out there, they're tracking you. They're using your stuff. Trust me, I know from personal to my pain. We are doing the same thing with storage and applications, and you're going to hear about those all the way through 2026. That's why I'm so excited. I get excited because I have something to be excited about. Other people get excited because they're trying to pump a token or pump a node or sale or something or sell widgets.
Mhm.
I know what we have to offer the world. And now the more than 28 software we still got to bring to market. Finally, we didn't get enough out. So we got a backlog of software and solutions we've got to get out in 2026. We have to. And we're not stopping. We're partnering with more to do more already. So that makes me excited. I know what we've done in our cryptocosm to keep our agreements and our promises with you. And so I can say, check, where Google's law is this. We're over here with the law one of the cryptocosm. Gilder would like us, pat ourselves on the back. You're safe. Security first. What else, Brandon? Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I was thinking about, I've always taught my kids that as they step into responsibility, they also get more freedom, right? And so you see that as they grow up, they they take on a little more responsibility, and then they get that freedom that comes with it. And it's the same thing in this world, right? Like as you take on that financial responsibility, you get that freedom that you really want. What we're doing at ROAR is making that easy for people because until now, you had to be a developer to be able to understand all of those little nuances. And I think that that's one of the most exciting things about what we do is being able to bring the ease of taking on that responsibility for people so that they can have that freedom.
Agreed. I even think that there's a different approach we have, and you'll probably get this quick in how we treat individuals. I'm starting to see that the big players are kind of like the global elite. And you'll hear the global elite say stuff at different groups that I don't love, like the WHO, WEF, and Davos, whatever. You'll hear them say things. Even the UN will put a shot over the bow that I can't. Ugh.
Yeah,
They say things like individuals are too dumb to make decisions for themselves. Now, they won't say they're too dumb to make decisions for themselves. They'll say, because we understand the larger populace doesn't understand the implications, we need to make necessarily these decisions for them, or it needs to be policed well. Guys, can I just tell you something? You are smart enough to make decisions for yourself.
that's
You
right.
are. Every one of us are. That's a part of basic human dignity. So when someone says that, it's not just like a shot, it's a put down. It's disgusting. It's
Mhm.
disgusting to think that there are different hierarchies of human beings on the planet. That's not how it works, man. We're all created special individually, and we all have value beyond what we even know we're capable of. And I don't look around and think anyone's too dumb to know
That's
what
right.
to do with their own privacy, their own family, their own decisions, their own money. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not your judge and jury. That's not
Mhm.
right. And I'm tired of people judging things that are done or systems and solutions or even individuals and deeming them to be breaking the law or doing something wrong until they're proven innocent. It's not how it works. Thank God for the US because we believe someone is innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. And I've watched that play out with debanking and more, where it's guilty till proven innocent. Attacks from, government entities. This stuff has to end, you guys. This is bull crap. People are not guilty until proven innocent. They're innocent until proven guilty. And so I believe you have the ability to choose right. Believe you have the ability to know right and wrong. I believe you're smart enough. I believe you as an individual are important to the world and probably even to our ecosystem somehow. And you're going to bring something to the table that only uniquely you can. I can't, Brandon can't, or anyone else can.
That's right.
We're not sitting here as global elite. We're trying to bring technology into the realm of everyone so that your amazingness can show up in it.
That's
And,
right.
and you'll see things we build next year that'll give you the ability to surpass the global elite dev system, where developers are the elite ones and they know everything and you can't even hire them or get them. Man, I want to take that and just crush it and make it so that anyone can go in and do anything they dream of. We do that through systems, automations, and AI.
Mhm.
So AI is proving that that's possible. And I believe every individual out there has the ability to self regulate, to choose their own due north and do their own due diligence and own their own path. That is the idea of the rugged pioneer in the Old West.
Mhm.
Here's a land claim. We don't even have a sheriff's department. Go for it. Pioneering spirit is lost. We're not looking for folks to come and colonize an idea. We want them to pioneer.
Mhm. There it is. What a great way to end our show today.
So, man, I could go on, but I don't want to. I want to say more for later. We got a lot
That's right.
coming. You guys, just because things look sideways or a market looks down or a token isn't at the right price, I'm not even just talking about ours. I'm talking about anyone out there.
Mhm.
Just because it looks like a moment since 2010-ish or 11. Actually, it wouldn't be 2011, it'd be like 2012, I think. We've seen these historically with all the projects. Don't let your attitude or mindset get down. Keep staying awesome, keep creating, and keep your head up because more's to come. And if you need folks that are like-minded around you, come join us at the Roar. Find us in our Discord, join our Telegram, follow us on X or anywhere else you're seeing this. We want you with us. It's going to be an awesome 2026 and I think an awesome decade to come. Y'all have a great one. Brandon, thank you for being on, my friend, as always.
My pleasure, brother.
All right,
Thank
well,
you,
you guys take
everybody.
care, and we will see you next time.
Take care, everyone.